Good morning, all service design community. I'm Gabriele, service design network ambassador here from Vibrant Milan in an astonishing day. We are on 23 July at 6 p.m. CAT Europe time, and we're gonna have today as a host Mauricio Menes from the University of Savannah, who is an expert of artificial intelligence for service design. So welcome to Community Voices Specials again, and as I said, this is the second of a series of interviews with service design network experts who will share their insights on service design and what are the next tools to approach service design for future generations. Today, as I said, I'll have the opportunity and the honor to present Mauricio Menes, who has led service design programs across various sectors, including education, banking, and nonprofit. He is passionate about advancing the field of service design with new technologies, in particular with artificial intelligence, enhancing human-AI collaborative performance. So, Mauricio, welcome, and thank you for having for joining us today. And your participation is really welcome in the service design community to widen the horizons and the perspectives of service design network and the service design in its world and in its entire. I like to make you feel comfortable with that. It will be much more chat than interview. And as I say, we're gonna go through artificial intelligence for service design. I'd like also to ask our audience to be free and to feel free to share comments and thoughts so that we can always interact with you and answers to your questions about the topic. So Mauricio, thank you for being here again. And how are you? Is that fine? Are you great?
Yes. Happy to be here. Happy to support
great.
This.
Your mic is muted, I guess.
Mic is muted? No. Oh. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay, great. So. Perfect. I'd like to ask you, for those who may not know you yet, if you could provide us with a quick introduction about yourself and present yourself.
Of course. Again, thank you for inviting. It's a pleasure to be here and supporting this really friendly and great initiative to have this open discussion with the community. So as you mentioned, my name is Mauricio Menes. I'm from Brazil originally. I live in Savannah, Georgia since 2015. I moved to the US in 2015 to be the professor and grad coordinator at the Savannah College of Art and Design of the Service Design program. And in 21, I left the university and joined a bank to structure their service design team. And last year, in April, I left the bank and joined an AI startup.
Okay.
So this is, in a nutshell, my trajectory so far. And I have to say that trying to figure out how to make sense of AI in the service design world is or has been one of the most fascinating projects I was ever involved.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. It's awesome. Thank you for your presentation, Maurizio. And as I was saying, today we're going to discuss the future landscape of service design in the age of artificial intelligence. And so that's why we were so glad to have you with us today and to deepen this perspective. So let's start with an icebreaker question. So what does it mean to design artificial intelligence-driven services experience today?
It's an adventure, a discovery at first, right? the main takeaway for now is that it's an open space, right? I'm advocating to anyone that can somehow be interested by what I say to take this moment to enjoy the discovery process. It's too soon yet to actually have formatted and very definitive answers for what it entails, right?
Yeah.
Based on the experience that we had developing this AI platform that I've been involved, we're starting to see some patterns emerging, right? And we could explore more, but for now, it's awesome to be a designer and having this openness to try things and learn and make sense of things. I guess it's a skill that will be even more important and critical in the month ahead, right? I used to say years ahead, but now I don't know, it might change tomorrow. But for now, it's enjoy the journey. I guess this would be my main takeaway. Enjoy the journey. There's no need to rush because the technology is advancing at breakneck speed. So enjoy the journey.
So you talk about patterns. Which kind of patterns do you have in mind talking about service design for artificial intelligence?
Yeah, the first one is what we are calling Move 78. It's kind of a framework that I've been working with my son, Lucas Manhães, that is with us here, and is inspired by a game of Go, a match that happened in 2016 when the world champion Go player called Lee Sedol had a match with an AI, what you call AI creature, and he lost the match 4-1. But what happened there was really interesting, and the pattern that emerged from that experience, that many historians are considering a turning point in human and technology evolution, is the fact that he first observed how AI produced results or outcomes, right? He was Lee Sedol, like the research done by these historians and technologists about the event itself tend to suggest that at first Lee Sedol was surprised by the machine. When he started play against, he had in his mind a paradigm that he was playing against a machine. And at some point he realized that the machine was not exactly a machine, was creative, was able to play beautifully, creatively. And in this process, he realized that he could do the same and change forever the level in which humans actually play the game of Go. If you've never heard about the game of Go, it's like a chess, way more complex, 3,000 years of history, and it's considered one of the most complex board games that humans have ever created. And both the AI creature was able to create new moves, and him, inspired by what he saw this machine doing, was able to change the way humans play Go. So that the whole discussion about human plasticity, able to adapt to this new way of doing things and not overcome, but empower our own way of doing things too. So this is one of the first patterns, right? That we are able to not mimic, but springboard our actions from what AI is able to do. And the other pattern would be, so based on this, Lucas and I, we end up developing a framework and a workshop through which more than 200 designers have already attended. And watching the group, so the workshop goes through this framework that we call the Move 78. We were able to notice that the groups that were able endless questioning groups. So we run a workshop. Some groups, by the time they start feeling comfortable to start the first step of the process, some others had done the 16. There are 16 steps. We're already done. And we start to understand why? We're most designers, right? We are trying to focus only on designers for this workshop. And we try to understand why these groups here do all the 16 steps in an hour, and others take an hour just to start doing. And the first paradigm or pattern that we saw are these groups that go faster and have more fun. They first embrace endless questioning, okay. Right? The others, they ask the question and reflect and try to get to a point that they feel comfortable to start. And the others, like children, right? They start and they know that they can count on AI to kind of fill the gaps or answer questions. For instance, on average, during these workshops, each participant asks 3.5 questions per hour, right? Each. So if you're in a classroom, you usually don't ask any question. You wait for your turn, right? You don't want to over question anything or stop too much the instructor. So these groups that don't start fast, they seem to be waiting their turn to ask questions, while the others start asking whatever question they want because they know AI will be there to help. The second one, so those are average, 3.5 questions per average. The groups that go faster, their average is like 20 questions per hour per person.
Yeah.
The groups that tend to go slower, it's like one, even less than 1 per hour, right?
Yeah.
So this a difference.
Indeed, like linked to that and to the ability of relating to artificial intelligence, I'd like to ask you, which is actually for you, and which parts of surface design practice must always be done by human?
It will change. So the framework that we're developing is divided in 3 parts. One is called unpacking AI. So every time that you start a project, try to understand where AI stands at the moment. The second part is integrating human intelligence. So depending on what you obtain AI state, you have to figure out which way you can integrate people in this. So it changes, right? One example that Lucas and I found was, at first when we started this, you couldn't have find AIs generating artifacts for you, right? So we would, in the second step, create journey maps, service blueprints. Now, AI in 5 seconds, 2 seconds, like Claude artifacts, right? It creates a first take on customer journey, service blueprint, workflows. And you have to review where humans would fit better. But the third one, after you have this, so it's a structured 16 steps dynamic, right? We can't call this a process. So at first, the five first, you unpack AI, assess what AI can do today. The second one is how do I integrate humans into whatever AI is capable of doing now? The third one is the synthesis of human and AI intelligence. And this is an interesting part, going to your question. It's you document everything that AI did, what were the best ways to integrate humans to what AI did, and then looking at this documentation, you as a human talk to your team and people that surround you and make this leap, take this leap, right? Like, oh, okay, no, it's better to integrate humans like in this part with whatever AI was able to do, but this is still a very human subjective perception perspective, right? So in a way, this is still the best and most valuable part that humans can integrate to the process.
Sure.
Right? This subjective human perspective on whatever you recorded and identified as opportunities or limitations of AI.
Yeah, I mean the human side.
Yeah.
Continuing on the topic, Mauricio, in your opinion, what is the most crucial factor for successfully implementing artificial intelligence in the types of work that could benefit from its support in terms of service design and design?
Yeah. What many and Lucas, please feel free to. Lucas is my companion in this journey, so he knows as much as I do in terms of what's happening. But the main aspect to implementing AI at this moment is understanding that this is not the usual software, right? And many researchers are saying this. It's not the best description that I saw about this, like software, you can imagine as a watch, a clock, right? AI is a creature. It's not precise as a clock. So a paradigm that and some researchers are saying that the CrowdStrike bug was kind of a byproduct of this, is imagining that AI will be at the end adjusted and perfected as a watch. And this is not the case. This is a wrong way of seeing this. It's more organic, right? It's not precise in that way that these parts are controllable, right? And by the time we get to control generation X of AI would be 2 or 3 generations ahead. So we just have to forget this and be more human in this understanding, right? It's a process that will need always an overview, an audit done by humans.
Yeah, indeed. And talking about humans, as we design for humans, as design based on human needs, how can, for your point of view, we use artificial intelligence to better understand those human needs? To use this creature that you said, better understand human needs.
One thing that is interesting, again, given the current state, is LLMs, especially. They are large language models, right?
Yeah.
And it's the main insight that we had in this short journey of a year and a half was that AI is actually trying to mimic what humans do. We have some associative memory network. The best example is like, if I ask you what is a chair, the way we actually understand what is a chair is based on now it's becoming popular, the word tokenization, right? We define chair by associating with several other words, which is exactly what AI is trying to mimic, right? So AI are becoming two large language models, and integrating these two or building bridges to make this transition between human language models and AI language models could be a potential tool or approach for absurdly amazing services, right? If you understand that they are, or AI is getting closer to mimic what we do naturally, right? If you, for instance, if you ask, oh, what is a chair? People would say, oh, something to sit on. Oh, so if I sit on top of a table is a chair. It's not a chair, right? I'm using it as a place to sit, but it's not a chair. So understanding that humans actually use tokenization or something way more subjective and way more marvelous, let's say, as tokenization enables a perfect integration and empowering.
The interesting thing about that is that when you do that with LLMs or artificial intelligence, it usually goes to an average answer.
Oh, yeah.
So it finds words that are related to the words that you're using in the prompt, but it uses like average things. So it's like the closest to it. And then when you put humans as well in the process, then you have like very specific with the context. So if you're doing like a healthcare thing project or whatever, then you bring people that are involved in it, and you're able to get that average answer, like the base, and then you are able to iterate like to a deeper level with the humans that are involved with the process, you know.
Yeah, sorry. So that answer your question, right? AI gives you this average, like, oh, what? Give me the average. If you don't know nothing, AI will bring you to the average. If you know a lot, it will bring you to the average. This average is powerful, right? You get like the medium out of the way. Okay, I get what should I say so most people understand what I'm talking about. AI gives you this. When you integrate with human LLM, it gives you the differentiation, the originality, the twist that make it desirable, right? Otherwise, it would be too average. So thank you, Lucas. This is, I guess, answers your question.
Thank you very much, Mauricio, for your answers about artificial intelligence, for your support with us in understanding how artificial intelligence can actually implement and can provide support to service design activity. Talking about the questions, we got some kind of interactions from our community listening at us, and Katie Sandler has an interesting question about the environmental impacts of artificial intelligence, because we know that digital has some kind of strong environmental impact that lots of time we actually don't think about or we actually avoid to think at. So I would like to ask, Katie would like to ask you from the sustainability perspective, exactly how can we potentially design sustainability into artificial intelligence design landscape?
Awesome question. And if Katie allows me, I would like to enlarge this question and include humans in this environment, right? I know that she might be asking specifically on energy and power consumption, right? Electricity, which is as absurdly high, no questions about. But what I'm saying and Kate is like, I'm not going back. I'm not concerned about what AI will be able to do. I'm concerned about what people will do under the justification of AI. So we've seen a massive layoff of designers, and then the sustainability aspect. Let me put this way, embracing the social part of sustainability, right? As damaging, let's say, as the power consumption, right? I believe that at some point, with the advance of AI itself will be able to find ways to mitigate the energy challenge part, right? The cost of nature in supporting and feeding AI with energy. But and I know many people are concerned about this. I'm more concerned about the human cost, the human pollution in a way, right? The human suffering that might be caused by people making decisions based or under the excuse that AI will do X, Y, Z, right? So I don't know if I'm being too holistic in a way, but my concern now is the impact of AI on the human aspect of nature for now, right? I know that the cost of, in terms of energy production, is completely justifiable in terms of worry, right, to concern. But I'm focusing more on the human cost of AI for now. When you talk about the farms, right, the audit farms that we are seeing people being paid, I add this under the umbrella of sustainability. This is not sustainable, right? At some point, some people are saying, "Oh, we will not need humans anymore." Okay, and then what? That's not sustainable, right? We're taking all humans out of the equation, so that's not sustainable. So, if I may, I would like to position myself more focused on the human suffering that might be caused by this, but I totally support the ones that are more concerned about the nature's cost, which are unquestionably important and should be dealt with.
That's great. Thank you very much, Mauricio, for your insights and for your participation to this event, helping us to understand how artificial intelligence, again, will impact service design now and in future. And with this great answer to another great questions from our community members, Katie Sandler, we would like to conclude thanking you again for your participation and thanking all our audience to being here today in pursuing knowledge, in advancing knowledge into service design for artificial intelligence. And as we conclude, I would like to invite our community to fill out the survey, to share your thoughts and help us to improve within the future episodes of Service Design Special. We are gonna send the link in the chat about the surveys, and we'll be glad to, if you community and if all the members of the community can help our system and our network to grow dynamically. Again, I would thank you, Mauricio, for your availability and for your kind participation. And we're gonna stay in contact to answer whatever questions from SDN community will come in the future.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation. A pleasure.
Bye. Have a great evening all. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.